Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing all right. Just gotta quickly double check if the audio is proper, if you can actually hear me, just to make sure everything is running smoothly, and then we'll carry on. We'll then move on to the charts and have a look at the instruments that we normally trade during the live session. Uh, Mainly euro, dollar, pound, dollar, of course, gold. Gold actually giving us a pretty decent opportunity right now. And also we're gonna have a look at euro yen and pound yen because they are also looking kind of okay, even though we are trading at the. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, that's good. Ready to go actually. So I'm just gonna send a couple of messages in the free Telegram channel, and um also on Facebook, and then we'll carry on. So let me just grab the link very quick. I am expecting a few more people to join. Um, but we've got to let them know that we're actually live, right? Okay. So I've just sent a message in the free Telegram channel, guys. If you have not yet joined, make sure to do so. You can find the links in the description below this stream. Make sure to join completely free. And in the free Telegram channel, every single day we share a setup or an update of the setups that we're looking for on euro dollar specifically. Now, this is not the only instrument that we trade. We actually trade multiple instruments. You can see them all here in my watch list. But this remains for the premium Telegram channel. Okay, but when it comes to a completely free valuable information, you will get a daily setup on euro dollar. Okay, I'm not saying there's going to be an entry every single day. All I'm saying is that you will know, where price is going long term, short term, what you can expect, what are the key levels, potential stop losses, where they should be, and stuff like that. For those of you still struggling to find the market direction, or you know entries and key levels and key areas in price, all of that is, you can find that in the free Telegram channel. It's as simple as that. um or if you follow us on TradingView, it's the same information anyway. But I'm sure this is going to help you a lot, especially if you're in the beginning of your journey, because I know very well in the beginning it could be very confusing as to what you should look for. What is the overall market direction? When you switch in between time frames, and it's quite different. So you may have an uptrend on a lower time frame, and then you may have a downtrend on the time frame above that. So it gets pretty confusing as to in which direction you should be trading. But all of that, this issue is basically gone when it comes to euro dollar specifically. Now, of course, there are instruments which are very close to the price action on euro dollar. We're talking about correlation here. So if you know how to use correlation, you can then find trading ideas and setups based on the information that we send on euro dollar each and every day. Um, and of course, for those of you who want to learn and actually take it very seriously and really put in the time and try and progress as quick as they can, I think that the mentorship program is probably the best place to go. So anyways, what do we got? We got a few people joining in. Hello everyone. If you guys have any questions regarding the setups that I usually share, or if you currently have any setups, you can drop the link to your chart here in the chat box, and we can all have a look at them. I believe this is going to be helpful for other traders as well. Okay. So anyways, I know a lot of you guys are watching, especially after the, maybe not necessarily during the live stream, but after that, I can see we make a little bit more views on those live streams, well, the recordings, right? So, and I never get any questions, you know. It's mainly people texting me and messaging me on Telegram via a direct message, which is totally fine. But you know, to make it a little bit more engaging, we can, you know, share stats and charts and graphs here in the chat box. So you know, for those out there that are not able to join during the live stream but are watching those lives afterwards, well then, you know, I believe we can provide even more information than what I already do. So anyways, we've got the euro dollar here. This is the 15-minute time frame, but we're gonna have a look at the 1 hour chart now. What do we have? We actually have a range. Okay, so I do like this price action, especially when I'm using the volatility expert advisor. Okay, because this is where the expert advisor performs the best in a ranging market. Why? Because we're trying to enter positions on the way down and then we close all those trades on the way up, and then we keep doing that as long as price is ranging. Now, what happens next though, or what will potentially happen next? Okay, of course we cannot say for sure, but I think there is a higher probability that we're actually going to see this breakout. And when you look at the trend from the higher time frames, obviously we have a long-term uptrend, a steep uptrend as well. So I'm not expecting that to change, right? We need some major news and shift in politics when it comes to Fed's politics and also the European Central Bank's politics. So since we don't yet have any signs of, you know, something like this to potentially happen, then that means we're going to be looking for positions in the direction of the main trend, which right now is bullish. So I'm only looking to take long trades. Now, do we have an entry now? I think it's for me personally, it's quite risky to enter a trade right now. Why? Because we've got these lows right here. So imagine all of the retail traders that are trying to enter a long trade now, they're looking for signs like this, okay? But if the market needs liquidity to create momentum in a certain direction, then that means we need to grab that liquidity from somewhere. So where is that liquidity? Usually sits below the equal lows. Okay, so we may drop all the way down here to, let's say, 1.16. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but of course it's possible. So even if you're looking to enter a long trade anywhere around current price levels, just keep that in mind and maybe use a smaller lot size. Okay, but if that happens, if price drops all the way down to around 1.16, that means we would have taken out these lows. Okay, so a lot of buyers will give up. Okay, maybe even start looking for selling positions, and then we're going to have a retest of this low. Now setups like this, and especially if we print a strong rejection candle down here, setups like this are just A plus setups in my opinion, or at least according to my strategy. Now, what if that doesn't happen? Well, we're either going to continue trading kind of sideways, or of course we would eventually see price breaking above that resistance right around 1.1730, 1720, and then, you know, we can eventually look for a continuation even higher. But this is pretty much what I'm waiting for right now. I want to see either one of those three scenarios to develop and see how price reacts around, you know, levels above current price levels or below. So that means for me personally, maybe it's not a good idea to open a trade on euro dollar. Okay, so it's easy for me to say that because I actually have a setup on another instrument, which we're going to check out in just a second. But if we move on and we go over to pound dollar, what do we got here? Not exactly sideways move, but if euro dollar keeps trading sideways, then that probably means we're going to enter this type of range here on GBP USD as well. So do you currently have any trades? Now, if you're taking sell trades based on that most recent reversal, I think this is very risky. Why? Well, again, have a look at the higher time frame. What do we got? we got a massive trend right here, okay, and then we pulled back to a previous low 1.3160 roughly, and then we had a strong bounce off of that level, so a strong support level right here. I wouldn't actually expect for price to come all the way down here. Of course, I would be expecting instead of that to see a continuation higher. Now this is the daily time frame. So as you can see, I've got the Fibonacci retracement on this most recent move right here, and the 38.2 level, the Fib retracement level, is down at 1.3420. Okay, so are we gonna have enough momentum to push price and retest again the previous low and also the 38.2? Now this setup reminds me of something. If we have a look at euro dollar, we have this type of setup right here, okay, with this previous low, price pushing back down, testing this low, and now bouncing off. So I can't say for sure whether we're actually going to continue to the upside right away, but you know, if you are usually using the Fibonacci retracement levels, you will see that we also had a 38.2 retest on this most recent swing high. Okay, so for now, if I have to take a trade right now, I would probably go for pound dollar out of those two, euro dollar and pound dollar. But you know, the good thing is obviously we don't have to take a trade. Okay, we can take our time instead and then find a really good setup and then take advantage of that when we actually have a higher probability. Now, how do we know if we have a higher probability? Well, obviously you must have a winning strategy. How do you know if your strategy is winning? Well, either back test it or forward test it. Okay, so if you don't put in the time to do that, then it's probably not going to happen, especially when you're trading manually. This is very important. And then we have gold. Now, here is where I actually think, even if we look for entries right now, it still makes you know, some sense. We don't yet have a confirmation for the reversal, but what I like the most about this setup so far is that, you know, within this range on the higher time frame, we are kind of forming up this smaller, shorter term range right here. Now if you go to the 1 hour time frame, we've got a strong bullish momentum, price starting to push down strong, but then very quickly kind of seems off, and it's what we see right now is basically slow price action. Okay, so right here is where I'm expecting for this new range. Even if it continues for a little bit longer, I eventually want to see price breaking above that. Once we have a clear break and close above the resistance of the range, then that is going to be our confirmation that price is going back into an uptrend. Now, why am I looking for long positions only? Exactly the same thing. Just have a look at the weekly time frame. Isn't that a really strong uptrend? It is. And even though we've been trading sideways for some time, you know, I'm even surprised we don't really have a stronger pullback here. So after this consolidation, I will be expecting for price to eventually break above and, you know, continue higher. Of course, forming up new all-time highs. Before that, though, we need to see some confirmation. So the first one would be price breaking and closing above this most recent high. Then this most recent high. At that point, you will have the beginning of an uptrend, okay? And then you can look for break and retest, you know, key levels, fair value gaps, whatever kind of confirmation you use for your entries. This is what you're gonna have to look for after you get some confirmation. Now, why did I say that even if we take the entry right now, it's not going to be such a big deal? Because this is what we talked about in the premium telegram earlier today. Okay, so you've got this impulse right here, and then price slowly coming back. So obviously we still have more bullish power within this move. Okay, because if we had equal strength in between buyers and sellers, or if let's say the bears are stronger in this case, we should have seen a momentum taking price back down to, let's say, previous low. Even if it doesn't break it, we wanted to see a strong momentum, something that we have in the opposite direction. We've got a bullish momentum here, but we don't have that bearish momentum. Instead of that, it's just a very easy going retracement right here. And you can see how price is kind of losing strength as it approaches the 61.8 level. So for those of you trading fair value gaps, we are in fact into a fair value gap from the 4-hour time frame. Isn't that a strong confirmation? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section for those of you trading, specifically fair value gaps. I do know what it is. I've used them. It's not my main thing, when it comes to my own approach when I'm taking trades, but I know it works. I mean, it makes sense. There is definitely a gap, unfilled price, and right now the market is filling up that gap. So even if we continue pushing down for a little longer, I would eventually expect for price to turn around and maybe even create another bullish momentum, just like we have right here. So this is why I would say if you take the entry now using a less smaller lot size, less volume, less risk than what you would normally use when you actually have the confirmation, you can, let's say, open with half of the risk. You can open your trade right here, place your stop loss down here if you want, and then as price confirms your analysis, you can add the rest of the volume that you have. Okay, so if you usually enter with 0.5 lots, okay, you can open a trade with 0.25 here and then add another 0.25 after the confirmation. All right, so of course these are not fixed numbers. I just made it up for the sake of the example, but whatever kind of risk you use, you can divide this risk entering multiple times if you want to, just so you don't miss out the move. Because if you are waiting for the perfect entry, then the next hourly or 4-hour candle may be like this. Okay, so where do you enter a trade now? You would have to place your stop loss at least below this impulse, and then you're up here at the previous high. So are you going to open a long trade up here? Probably not. It doesn't look good. This setup doesn't have positive risk to reward ratio, right? Even though we may not even limit the take profit as to where price can potentially go after such a strong confirmation, if we, of course, if we have one. But it's something to keep in mind. It's something very important, all right? And you've got to pay attention to stuff like that. So anyways, what else do we have? We have the yen cross pairs as well. So I did say that, the yen cross pairs are also looking good. And this is because I am expecting that we're going to see an upside continuation here as well. And we've already got, enough confirmation to tell us to only look for buying opportunities and that we may soon see price eventually continuing higher. Now the thing with, let's say, pound yen, because in my personal opinion it looks slightly better, the thing is we're probably not going to see any lower structure than this right here. Now of course, do not take my word for granted. It may happen. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't have an entry currently on the yen cross pairs, but if I see price testing the previous lows, giving me some rejection signals, okay, we're talking about long rejection wicks, okay, maybe some engulfing candles after that. If I get signals like this, that probably means I can use an aggressive entry with stop loss just below that reversal, and then we can base the take profit with the Fibonacci expansion too. Now in this case, this would look like something like this. So let's say we have a retracement to the previous low. So I would take my fib from down here, point A, point B, and if we get the entry or the reversal right here at the previous low, just for example, then that means we've got 201, 0.90, 0.80, 203.80 as our next target. Now I'm not sure whether we'll get a setup like this. What I think could also happen is, instead of price coming down to retest previous lows to give us an even better entry, we may actually see a continuation to the upside right away and a strong bullish momentum. So that means in this case I would probably miss the entry, but that is completely fine. Okay, I do have trades running on other instruments. I'm not really desperate to enter a trade, and you should never be, right? This is not what trading is all about. It's all about sniping a really good entry and just getting rid of the bad entries, because as soon as you do that, even if you don't make any extra profit, again, you're gonna have better results just because you're removing as many losses as you can. And obviously, when you do that, then you end up making more money than you've made before. Um, uh, you know, so these are probably the best setups right now. Now, I usually look at those instruments only during the live sessions, but this time it actually is like that. The best entries are going to be on euro dollar, pound dollar, on gold, and on euro yen and pound yen. Let me check out the hourly chart here on euro yen. So what do we got? We got this type of move, and we've got this previous high. If we reject right here, I would expect for price to test one of the previous lows. And this is where I would look for a reversal. As soon as I have something like this, then this is what I can potentially use as the entry. But right now, it's probably just gold where I would say that, it's very likely that we're going to see a continuation to the upside pretty soon. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to go straight up from current price levels. We may have another dip, then kind of a reversal pattern like this, and eventually then we may see price starting to skyrocket. But for now, it's calm. As you can see, God is taking its time without really doing much. I do consider this as a good reversal signal though. And when I'm talking about reversal signal, I'm talking about a reversal from this bearish move back to a bullish market direction. Um, I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? Do you currently trade any of these setups? Do you have any trades, or are you looking to enter any of those on any of those instruments? I know some of you guys are trading many more or many other cross pairs. I don't mind. I can check out the chart on one of your instruments if you want me to. And of course, if it's not uh, one of the instruments that I'm currently telling you about. So, like I said it before, patience is the name of the game. But it's very important to, especially when you're making manual entries, to actually be able to, you know, find the reversal level spot on. If you don't do that, you either lose a trade, you either stay in a long drawdown, or you immediately go into a drawdown and then price stays there for a while, or the market starts to consolidate. Okay, it actually rarely goes in your favor right away, and you may be thinking it's just with you, or it might be because of your strategy or your approach. But trust me, most of the people that I talk to, and also from my own experience, many times you enter a trade and it doesn't go the way you want to. So the way that I found out works really well is to look for those rejection candles. So you've got a body like this, and then you've got a long rejection wick to the downside. Something like this at the end of a downside move, and especially when we're expecting an upside move to follow and you get a candle like this, for me this almost automatically makes it an A plus setup, which means I can afford to risk a little bit more on those setups. Okay. So let me actually check um, Euro pound and Euro Aussie. Um, so here is Euro Aussie breaking above previous highs. Yeah, I don't really like the daily candles, but even the 4 hour charts, we've got a strong momentum bullish candle right here, and then the very next one is kind of just collecting stops above the previous high. It's not really a strong confirmation for an upside continuation. Instead of that, I think the best thing to do is to wait. And even if I would like to enter a long trade, I wouldn't do it on current price levels. Okay. But to be honest, we've got a leave it as it is. I'm not currently looking for any trades on Euro Pound or Euro Aussie. Okay. What about the setup on Ethereum? Just have a look at the daily time frame. We have a strong, massive level right here. Managed to break above that without any issues whatsoever, and we're now coming for a pullback. So we're gonna give this level a revenge, but I don't think. I mean, I think Ethereum is gaining quite a lot of strength with this upside move. So on the if there is a pullback all the way down to 4,000, I would be expecting for price to bounce off and continue higher. This is for those of you trading crypto through leverage. Of course, if you are holding long term, then stuff like that does not bother you at all, I guess. But for those of you trading, especially with small accounts, high leverage, you must have a really good win rate and really good sniper entry, so you don't go into drawdown. And if we're talking about levels on Ethereum, that can do the job. Well, then this is going to be 4,000 for Ethereum. And then we have Bitcoin, still bearish. However, we're also approaching this previous low. All right, let me just get rid of this window. Okay, that's good. We're approaching this previous low around 112,000. Okay, currently trading around 115.5. So are we going to see a continuation to the downside, or are we actually going to see a reversal right here? Now, even if we reach the previous lows, I would still expect a reversal. I feel like the crypto instruments, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, right now are very strong, meaning that, I think it's going to be slightly easier for price to continue higher without giving us any strong pullbacks or long-term pullbacks or anything like this. Instead of that, I would be expecting from Bitcoin and Ethereum to keep pushing up. Okay. So right here we've got the pullback, and then we have a breakout of previous high. Now we have a pullback. We don't yet have that breakout, but this is because um, you can see this previous high. It is right around 3,360. 15-minute time frame on Euro Yen is looking really good. I mean, just look at that rejection at the same level down here. Here is another example, good example of a rejection wick. You can hear me every time I say that I'm looking for trades and setups where price gives me a pullback and then I'm looking for a rejection. This is what I mean. Okay. Now you can clearly see that we managed to hit a bottom right here around 172, and then we have this rejection. What does that mean? It means that price was trying to push down, but by the time the candle, in this case a 15-minute, by the time the 15-minute candle closed, it managed to recover the losses throughout this period of time. So that's why, especially when those trades and candles are being looked on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, or even the daily time frame, I do believe they give you a lot of, a higher percentage of winning your trade rather than if you're just looking for one of the I was gonna say simple models patterns, but this really is a simple pattern. I just gotta get used to noticing those rejection wicks. I don't see any questions. For those of you watching this channel for the first time, you guys, I usually use an expert advisor to automate my entries when it comes to trading. I don't really trade manually that often anymore. Of course, I used to, but now we have the volatility trading expert advisor, and this is something that helps you generate profit. Um, mainly when the market is kind of slowing down and or trading sideways. So right now, the price action on gold right here, and also the way it has been for the past months, is a very suitable environment for the expert advisor. Okay, so if you want to learn more about this, all you need to do is to go over to our website, trendlineforex.com. Right here, I believe you can find this in the description below this video or below this stream if you're now watching live, and then click on that volatility trading. You can read more about the expert advisor. You can see a few videos right here, and you can learn more about how this tool works and how you can actually use it in your own trading. I'm sure this is going to improve your win rate and save you a lot of time because you don't basically need to stay in front of the charts and wait for the right entry. All you got to do using the expert advisor is to select a zone. So let's say we've got this area between the 38.2 and the 61.8. Okay, so we've got an area right here, and even before the price drops into this area, you can tell the expert advisor, all right, as soon as price pushes into this zone right here, I want you to start loading up on some buy positions. Even if it keeps going down, I want you to keep opening buy positions. So whenever the price gives you a reaction and it goes back to the upside, it will close all of those buy positions because now it reaches take profit on each one of those trades individually. Now, you may say, okay, how do we know if the market is actually going to reverse? Well, this is what we cover in the premium Telegram channel every single day. From Monday to Friday, we're sending out video updates on our full watch list. So we're talking about more than 10 instruments. We're talking about the majors, cross pairs, gold, crypto. Um, it's about I would say 7 to 10 minute long video each and every morning. So super short. You can watch it before you go to work or as soon as you wake up, whatever is best for you. And you will know in what direction to trade your favorite instrument. It doesn't matter if you're trading euro dollar, pound dollar, if you're trading gold or Bitcoin or pound yen. Most of those instruments we do cover in the premium Telegram channel. We don't do any stocks or indices. Okay. But apart from that, it's mainly Forex. And recently, we also added the Bitcoin and Ethereum into that main watch list. Um, so we do give you the key levels. We do give you the market direction. We do say if there is a pullback, what is you know uh, a level where price could potentially pull back to and then reverse. So whenever you know information like this, because you, like I said in the beginning of the stream, you may be getting lost right now. As soon as you open up the chart, you're looking at multiple time frames, you're trying to follow multiple instruments at the same time. It just doesn't work. You've got to focus on one, maybe two instruments, and then one or maybe two time frames. Okay, and then just find one or two entry pattern models. Pick which ones it's easy for you to spot on the chart in live market, and once you've done that, there you go, you now have a forex trading strategy. Now the next thing would be for you to either back test it with previous data or forward test it. You can open up a demo account or a very small live account and use the minimum lot size. Okay, so you basically enter positions based on your trading plan using minimum lot size. So even if you lose or win, it doesn't affect your emotions in any way. Because trust me, if you have $1,000 account and you risk $300 for a trade, and you have, let's say, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, you're pretty much doubling your account if you hit that 1 to 3. But what happens if you don't? It's fine. But then what happens if you try again and again and again? At the end of the day, you just sit down, you do your calculations, and it turns out you've paid more money than you've made from the market. So, you know, I think that was an important topic to touch on. But other than that, I feel like you guys are doing very well. I've noticed that before, when I was working with people, most of the people didn't have a clue about trading, and they were trading, high leverage accounts and big deposits, large deposits. So as soon as they see a negative result on the platform, it starts playing with their head. So now they're looking for ways to not accept the loss, but instead of that, how to kind of double the risk. So it takes them even a shorter period of time to potentially get out of this hole that they got into. So, but this is, I would say, probably the worst way to go. When you're not right, you're stuck in losses and you keep doing the same thing, but now you're also increasing the lot size, increasing the risk on each one of your entries. So don't do that. It's very easy to use the volatility expert advisor because you don't need to enter a single trade. The EA will do it for you. All you got to do is select your zone, okay, 38.2, 61.8, whatever kind of zone you use, and just set up the parameters accordingly. Yeah, that's right, Michael. You've been very active during the live sessions recently. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yes, the minimum lot size is just enough for a start. That's right. That's correct. Now, I did say earlier that there are all the links for either social media, website, the Telegram, whatever, in the description below this stream. But I'm just going to drop a link in the chat box as well. Uh, you know, from this page, you can request access to our free Telegram channel. Okay, right here. So feel free to do that. Like I said, we are sharing daily setups on Euro Dollar, and every time we do giveaway, promotion, discounts, Black Friday, whatever it may be, first it's announced in the free Telegram channel, and then across the rest of the our profiles. All right, let's see what's going on with gold. I would be observing the smaller time frames here on pound dollar, and let's say we see a little bit of a pullback, maybe retest of a previous level. And then if I have an engulfing candle or a momentum candle, then I would be looking for potentially for buying opportunities. Because I'm not gonna lie, the 4 hour time frame is looking pretty good, very decent, especially since we are expecting, a continuation further up, for price to eventually break above the highs up here around 1.3590. Okay, I would really love to see this breakout. I think it's just a matter of time for price to find enough momentum, bullish momentum, to push higher, and as soon as it does, then the continuation higher should be fine, and secured. But for now, nothing is. For now, we've got to wait. The setup on euro dollar is quite similar. Sideways move on gold. Yep, euro yen currently reacting at the resistance right here. Of course, if we break and close above that resistance, well, then we're most likely going to see a continuation higher right away. What about GJ? Yep, again, trading up resistance. Okay, we've also got some rejection wicks right here. Still got about 30 minutes left until this 1 hour candle closes. It's going to be very important to see how this one's going to close. It's not really an entry trigger candle, but why is it not? Well, we have some rejection wicks right here. We have a candle which is within the previous candle's borders. We then have this one, which doesn't really tell us much. Then we have this previous one, which again, it does not really tell us much. You can see we've got wicks on both sides, equal wicks, and then the body is just in the middle. So basically indecision. And then if we have another hourly candle closing below this, then I would be expecting for price to maybe make a deeper retracement. Okay. And one thing for sure, I wouldn't kind of stress out and start looking for selling opportunities, because even if we break below this and we stay down here, you know, um, that probably means we're heading towards previous lows. Anybody watching, do you guys currently have any setups or any trades open? Housing starts and building permits, not a big market mover. No, I don't think so. Well, do we have news like this right now? When are they coming out? I haven't even opened the economic calendar. Yeah, it just came out. Starts a little better, permits a little worse. Oh, I see. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting anything major during news like that anyway, so that's why I don't even remember we have them. Um, I think tomorrow was it tomorrow? The Powell speech. Let me just have a look. Or am I totally off the way? Let me see. FOMC minutes tomorrow. European Central Bank's President Lagarde speech. The Jackson Hole. Okay, that's fine. Um, right, so we may have some movement tomorrow. So, anyways, I did share with you what my views are. You know what I'm expecting to see on euro dollar, on pound dollar, on gold, and the yen cross pairs as well. So hopefully before the next bullish leg, um, and two other Fed heads. That's right, yeah. So hopefully before the next bullish leg, we're gonna see at least some sort of a pullback towards previous lows or something like this. But like I said, probably gold is the one which is worth the little bit extra risk to make the entry quicker before the next move up. All right. So of course, it really depends. If you are going to be using aggressive stops like this, then probably doesn't make a lot of sense because price can easily dip down just below the lows and then kind of reverse. But if you are going to be using conservative stops below the 3,270 level, then that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So keep that in mind. I am expecting to see price eventually starting to push up pretty soon. I want to see this breakout above that minor structure and then eventually price breaking above the previous high on the 4-hour time frame. And when it comes to the major, same thing pretty much. Okay, so even if we have another move towards the downside here on pound dollar, it doesn't mean that we're shifting trends. It only means that the pullback is going to give us a better entry. Right, overall I am long on all of the instruments: euro dollar, pound dollar, gold, euro yen, and pound yen. So don't forget to check out our website trendlineforex.com. You can read more about the volatility trading system. Okay, if you want to get involved with trading algorithms, because this is literally the future of trading. If you don't know that yet, well, then you're, left behind. So you're probably gonna eventually gonna catch up, but it may be too late. So make sure to read and educate yourself more on the topic of trading algorithms. So check out the volatility trading system, and then when you click on services, we've got free courses, we've got a free Telegram channel, a lot of blog articles, and other stuff like that. We've got the Forex dictionary, and stuff like that. So a ton of free information for those of you who want to learn how to trade, who want to learn a strategy, how to read the market and stuff like that. And of course, guys, if you have any questions, or if you want to get serious about trading, if you want to go through our mentorship program, which is a 12-month program, okay, we're not talking about a small course which you can take in a couple of days and then you know how to trade. This is not how it works. Okay, this is a 12-month program where you get access to the premium Telegram channel. So whatever you learn throughout the year, because we've got more than 15 courses, so it does take some time to go through the material, but whatever you read and learn about in that courses, you can see how we apply that knowledge in live market conditions by following the premium Telegram channel. So you can get all that with 12 months access, if you join the mentoring program. And also, if you want to receive the analysis alone, just premium analysis every single day from Monday to Friday, a breakdown on most of our setups in the premium Telegram channel. Make sure to either chat with us or just go over here to premium analysis, and you can request access to the group from this page. So anyways, I'm gonna end the session right here. Thanks, Michael, for joining again. I may stop doing the live sessions here in this channel and then switch over to the other channel that I guess you know about, because there's not a lot of activity here on this one. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll see you guys in the next one. uh, have a nice one and successful trading.